Hello and welcome to the 30k channel. I'm your host, David Brains, and we have two returners. Really great to see Thomas and Paul back for a game on the channel. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning. Really awesome to get these guys back. It means that they had a good first round experience, which I'm really pleased at. So that's good. It's always nice to see people back. So thank you so much for making your efforts to come down today. We're filming on a Sunday morning. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, so we had a nice early start. You've both come up from London, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. Collected Thomas from the station and whizzed up in your vehicle. We've got a classic matchup, haven't we? We've got Ultramarines versus Word Bearers.
Yeah. And the two brothers going at each other.
Yeah, the two top guys.
Both brought up Primarchs as it should be.
Yeah. I don't think we've had Gilliman and Lorgar on the channel before. I think we've had them in separate games, but not together, if my memory serves right. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But what a force you've got for us. I mean, they're both absolutely spectacular armies.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
It was fun. Wanted to bring lots of infantry, so there you go. I think you're going to be happy with
lots of me to shoot at.
Exactly.
I'd like to see the Punisher and the Sakaran in the list. So that was good to see.
Yeah, I think the Punisher might be necessary. Might have some work to do today.
I tell you, because it's Thomas, you brought 2 units of 40 militia.
Yeah. Just wanted to show how much we loved our Blue Brothers. Just give them little hugs. But yeah, no, it's a lot of bodies to go through. So yeah, he'll need the firepower for it. Yeah,
we've seen militia on the channel a couple of times, but certainly not in such large blocks. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see those 40 infantry blocks moving around the board. There's going to be a lot. It's like playing orcs all over again.
Yeah, sort of.
Doing those little apocalypse things that come out.
The little trays, yeah.
Little movement trays. There's a lot to talk about, really. I mean, we're playing 3,500 points. We've got Blood Feud and Dawn of War. We've got like a munitions depot and sort of a rocky outcrop for the guys to navigate around. There's some tight spots on that board as well. And particularly, Paul's brought a ton of vehicles, haven't you?
Well, I do like a vehicle, and yeah, there's some nice firing lanes on there. It should be good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see the Word Bearers flood through those fire lanes and then getting engaged by the Ultramarines. But you've got the jet bikes as well. They can manoeuvre around over the rocks and stuff, so you've got a bit of manoeuvrability.
Yeah, he has a lot of mobility, which I think is fantastic because he can pretty much kite everywhere around the board. I think it's going to be very interesting.
I might need it away from those Galvorbacks. Kite, get away.
Yeah, it's a scary prospect. I mean, you've got, 8, have you?
Yeah, I brought 8. Didn't want to bring like the classic 10.
Only
the classic 10.
But it should be good. We have, Lorgar and his chosen. Classic on their little ride.
Yeah.
And wanted to bring a flyer for the first time. I know they're very popular on the channel, so I figured I would bring mine. But I'm very curious about the Zyphon.
Me too.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
We don't see many because they tend to lose out to either a Fire Raptor or a Lightning. And for me, the Zyphon is an absolutely classic Space Marine flyer.
Yeah, I think it's one of my favourite models in the Heresy range. I've got a second one ready to paint as well. So maybe next time I'll bring 2. Maybe then they'll do a job.
Yeah, they're beautiful models. I really, really like them. And you did a wonderful job painting it too.
Cheers.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say both armies are really, really great. And hopefully with the photos, I went for quite a dark board. So it will really bring out the blue and red in both of these armies. And when we see them together, hopefully get into combat or close to each other, I think it will really stand out. So there'll be some amazing photos from this game. So really good. I'm keen to see those suzerain get stuck into whatever unit they decided to get stuck into. That'll be quite cool. We haven't seen Ultramarines for a while. And you've also got a Termite as well.
Yeah, Termite. It'll look good coming up through the sand as
well.
It will,
yeah. We'll have to do a crater of some sort.
Yeah.
What unit is in that?
So the Vets are going to go in that, and they've got Machine Killer on them as well. So
okay.
Some juicy side armour maybe.
Yeah. And I know recently you've just finished the Squad of Destroyers as well.
Yeah, pretty fresh off the table. They've had one game. They got absolutely massacred. But that's a one bad game out of the way. Yeah. It's always first game blues, so this is the second game, so it should be fine.
We'll try to be kind to them. Actually, we'll run away from them.
I think the Moritat with his chain fire into those militia might do a reasonable job.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
So it's what, like 6 shots on each, so 12 technically with deflagration too.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
And I see as well, you've got some jump packs around, you've got the Action Circle with you.
Actually, I use them as a assault unit.
I
really do love the models. That's why I bring them always as my infantry, but they are assault marine today.
Okay, cool. And I see you've got some of the 40k. They call the Chimera, or they've got a weird name, haven't they? I can't remember.
I forgot the name, but I use them as the mutated spawn, which is the heavy support entry slot for the militia. They're very, very cool units, so it's very, very fast. And they have some cool rules, such, first of all, their number of attack is a d6, so always got to roll it. But they also have a special rule which is called Mutated Beyond Reason, where you roll d3 and it gives a special ability to them. And we have to do that just after the deployment, so we'll talk about it a little bit later, but they're fun unit.
Great. We'll do that at the Seas, maybe, where we can talk about what ability they've gained. And Paul, you've assigned something special from Guilliman.
So Guilliman has his preternatural strategy, so I can select something, and I've gone with tank hunters for the Spartan. So nice tank hunting pair of quad las cannons.
Yeah, that's going to be tasty.
I hope so.
Need to get rid of that Sakaran maybe to keep your troops alive.
Good, keep that tactical advice going.
I'll try. But it's good. I am really excited for this game. I think the board looks great. I think the armies look absolutely brilliant. I think it's going to be an amazing game. It's 3.5k. We haven't done the 3.5k for a little while actually, so it'd be good to get all these models on the board. But really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
good
excited
stuff
too.
Good. All right, let's go into these lists and then we will see you at the beginning of turn 1.
3,500 points of Ultramarines led by Rabute Guilliman, no Rite of War or Warlord trait, and all ready to go to work on some Word Bearers. So here we have my HQ choices. We have a Legion Praetor on a jet bike. He's got digital lasers, an iron halo, and a mastercrafted Thunderhammer. And we have a Moritat with 2 Volkite Serpentas, and he'll be running with the destroyers. And the first troop choice is a Legion Tactical Squad with a Rhino. The Rhino's got a multi-melter on it, and the Tactical Squad have got Sergeant with Artificer Armour and Melter Bombs. Troop choice number 2 is exactly the same as the first, another Tactical Squad, Rhino with a multi-melter, and Sergeant with Artificer Armour and Melter Bombs. And the third troop choice is a Legion Tactical Support Squad with Volkite Chargers. The Sergeant is got Artificer Armour and Melter Bombs. And my first Elite's choice is a Legion Veteran Squad. They've got a Sergeant with a Power Fist. They've got Melter Bombs across the squad and 2 Plasma Guns, and they'll be arriving in a Termite. And the second Elite's choice is a Legion Destroyer Squad. They've got a Sergeant with a Power Fist and Artificer Armour. There's also Psych Out Grenades on the squad, Toxifer and Flamer, and a Missile Launcher with Rad Grenades and Psych Out Missiles. And my first fast attack choice is a Xiphon Interceptor. I've equipped it with ground tracking auguries, and it comes stock with it Xiphon Rotary Missile Launcher and 2 Twin-Link Las Cannons. And my second fast attack choice is the Jetbike Skyhunter Squadron. They've got Sergeant with a Power Axe, there's 4 with Heavy Bolters and 1 with a Plasma Cannon, and they've got Melter Bombs through the squad. And 2 of my heavy support choices are 2 variants of Sakaran, the Battle Tank with just the Accelerator Autocannon, and the Punisher with the Punisher Cannon and Heavy Bolter Sponsons. And in the Lord of War and the heavy support choice, it's the Avenging Sun himself, Guilliman. He's got 6 suzerain with him, 1 with a banner. They're running as his bodyguards, and his tank hunting Spartan to get him where he needs to go.
First and second HQ choices for the Word Bearers are 2 chaplains equipped exactly the same. They have a Croesus Arcanum, which are a Power Axe, Artificer Armor, Bolt Pistol, Melta Bombs, and Refractor Fields. First Elite choice are 8 Calvor Bag Brethren. they have one power weapon in the unit, which will be a power maul, and the Dark Martyr wears an artificial armor and a power fist. Second elite choice is an apothecary with a jump pack, a bolt pistol, and a close combat weapon. First troop choice for the Word Bearers is 10 tactical Space Marines equipped with bolters. The sergeant has a melta bomb and artificial armor. Second troop choice is 10 tactical Space Marine equipped with bolters. The sergeant has melta bomb and artificial armor. Third troop choice is 5 tactical support Marines equipped with plasma guns. The sergeant has a artificial armor. Fourth troop choice is 10 assault Marines equipped with melta bombs. The sergeant has artificial armor, a power weapon, which is a power axe, and melta bombs. First fast attack choice is 5 Seekers equipped with combi plasmas, and the sergeant, the strike leader, has artificial armor and a combi weapon as well. They have a dedicated transport, which is a Rhino. Second fast attack choice is 5 Seekers equipped with combi plasmas. The strike leader has artificial armor and a combi plasma as well, and they're gonna have a Rhino as a dedicated transport. First heavy support choice is a Spartan assault tank with armor ceramide, flare shield, dozer blades. Second heavy support choice is a Fire Raptor gunship with 2 turret-mounted Reaper autocannon batteries, 4 wing-mounted Hellstrike missiles. Third heavy support choice is a Sicarian battle tank with 2 Sponson mountain las cannons. Lord of War choice for the Word Bearer is Logar Aurelian, Master of the Word Bearers, the Golden, the Voice of Truth. He is transfigured and will be willing Illuminarium, he's Crozius. Logar is of a mastery level 3 thanks to the transfiguration, and he can pick his powers from the divination. Sorry.
Just say Logar psychic powers are. Okay. That's all we need.
Logar psychic power are foreboding, forewarning, precognition, and the primary power is prescience. The allied detachment of the Word Bearer is a Imperial Militia cultist army. It is led by a force commander that has melta bomb and a cyber familiar. He brings as Master of World Cyber Augmentics, which confers them a 6-up invulnerable. However, their run and sweeping advance roll is reduced by 1, and also the Tented Flesh Provenance, which gives them the Fear special rule and Feel No Pain 6+. Their close combat attacks gain the running rules. The allied troops is 2 units of 40 Levy auxiliaries with close combat weapons, and the heavy support choice is 7 mutant spawn.
Thomas, Paul, the Ultramarines and Word Bearers have deployed. Thomas, I can't help but think there is a ton of units on your side coming towards the Ultramarines.
Yeah, just like a wave of body about to crash against the blue line. So very exciting. I think it's very, no fear, like in the book.
Yeah, it didn't look it on the camera, of course, but we've been deploying for 4 hours now, just putting these out. But I've got a ton of guns to try and shoot them down.
Yeah, no, there's lots of scary guns on the other side. There was a little bit of admin that we had to go through. I have 2 units of Seekers. The one that are in this Rhino have marked for death for the actual destroyers, Pole Destroyer. The one in that Rhino is against his veterans that remind me in the...
They're going to show up in a term.
Yes, exactly. And also for the mutant spawn, we had to roll the D3 for the mutated beyond reason rule. And I rolled a 1, so that means I have a 5+ armor save.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good. Now, the Ultramarines won the roll-off to go to deploy first, go first, which you've done. But Thomas, you're keen for a C's, is that right?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm gonna try to get a 6, and then I need
another 6.
Yeah, exactly. You want to explain why?
So, due to Gulliman's preternatural strategy rules, successful seizes need to be rolled.
So, yeah, since we're blessed by the dark gods, let's make it happen. 1 in 36,
1
right?
in 36.
Okay. No,
not even 1.
Anyways,
best of luck, Thomas.
Yes, thank you. I'll need it.
And Ultramarines turn 1. Ultramarines turn 1 movement. The termite popped up right in the word bearer lines. The veterans have jumped out with their plasma guns eyeing up a Sikaran. The Sky Slayer squadron with the Praetor have scooted around the far side. They're looking at the militia. Sikaran eyeing up some juicy targets in the middle. No movement for the Sikaran. Destroyers ducking in behind the ammunition crates. Spartan eyeing up his fellow Spartan across the board. And the Punisher has got a juicy shot at far too many militia. And the Rhinos have just repositioned a little bit over on the far side. Ultramarine shooting turn 1. The Termite took a shot at the Sikaran just to activate interlocking tactics. It scored its hit, but can't do anything. The 2 plasma guns whiffed a little. Neither of them get hot. 1 hit, which was a penetrating hit, but then I rolled a 1 to make it snap shooting. Ultramarine Punisher lined up a shot through the canyon, fired everything thanks to being a fast vehicle, and killed 9 cultists. Ultramarine Spartan fired across the board at the Word Bearers Spartan, but despite getting 4 hits, didn't manage a single hull point even with tank hunters. Ultramarine Sikaran fired at one of the Rhinos with the Seekers inside, managed to get 5 hits, got a glance and a pen, neither of which were saved by the intervening models, and the pen was a weapon destroyed. Ultramarine Sky Slayers lined up a shot on the mutant spawn. Plasma cannon unfortunately got hot. 3 of the heavy bolters could see and managed to take 3 wounds and kill one of the mutant spawn. Ultramarines Rhino and crew shot at the militia, managed to hit a couple of times but didn't do any wounds. That's the end of the Ultramarines shooting. Overall, not the most effective turn. A couple of militia killed, 1 beast, managed to get a snap shooting Sikaran, which may be helpful as there's not a huge amount that can reach out and touch us at range. Turn over.
Turn 1 movement phase for the Word Bearers. Everything that could move forward and aggressively as we could. Spartan leading the charge with Logar inside. All the other units using the big vehicle as cover as possible. The Plasmas and the Seekers decide to take a bead on the veteran, hopefully clear that up in the shooting phase. And the Sikaran decide to push forward to provide some cover and also hopefully do a cheeky shot or 2. Overall, we're moving forward. Word Bearer turn 1 shooting phase. The support squad with the plasma open up on the veteran. It was 10 shots. We got 7 hits, 6 wounds, and 4 veterans died. They went to ground. However, in the process, one of the support squad died to get hot. The Seeker squad with marked for death on the veteran opened fire with their combi plasmas. They all hit, all wounded, and the unit is wiped. The tactical squad threw a crack grenade on the termite, hit, but unfortunately did no damage. The Seeker and battle tank snapshot at the Ultramarine Punisher. The last cannon did nothing. The main gun, however, scored a couple of hits, but got 1 rending hit, which penetrated, and now the Punisher will be snap shooting for the next turn of shooting. The Beasts run forward is 6 inches, the Militia run 5 inches, the Assault Marine 3 inches, and the last Cult Militia levies run a wonderful 1. The Spartan had to use Power of the Machine Spirit because it moved 12 to line up a shot on the Ultraman Rhino with the support squad. It got 1 glancing hit. that was not saved by cover. The tactical squad fired their bolter into the jetbikes, but did absolutely nothing. Word Bearer turn 1 assault phase, the tactical squad tried to do a charge on the termite, but failed, unfortunately. So overall, we're pushing forward. Happy with some of the shooting, but what really is going to happen is when we're going to get up and close with our blue friends.
Ultramarine turn 2 movement. The Rhinos have pushed up on the far side and unloaded their tactical marines to see those militia. A tactical withdrawal from the Spartan, just backing up a little bit, waiting to see what we can do to the other Spartan. Punisher, whose snap shooting is also backed up away from the Sikaran that made it snap shoot. Destroyers have bravely leapt across the barricades to face these ravening beasts charging towards them. The Ultramarine Sikaran has backed up a little, and the Sky Slayers have swept around the side with their eyes on the Word Bearer flank. Ultramarine shooting phase turn 2. The termite on the ridge rotated a little and fired down with its combi bolters at the militia, managed to score 2 wounds, which the Word Bearers saved with 2 6s. Ultramarine Mark IV tactical squad shooting up at the militia, managed to score a good spread of hits and kill 6 militia up on that hill. Ultramarine Mark III tacticals have also shot at the militia, managed 12 hits, 8 wounds, and then after a couple of 6-up saves, killed 5 more. 2 shots from the Ultramarine multi-melters. Both managed to hit the Sikaran, I'm as surprised as you are. Both penetrated, and they did make it explode, leaving that lovely pile of smoke behind. 2 cultists also died in the explosion. Ultramarine Punisher was snap shooting thanks to the shooting of the Word Bearers last turn. Fired a whopping 27 shots at the militia, scored just 2 hits, and then rolled a double 1 to wound. So the Ultramarine Spartan fired its quad las cannons at the Spartan. 1 was snap shooting, managed to get 2 hits and 1 glance to take a hull point off the Spartan. It used Power and Machine Spirit to fire its heavy bolters at the beasts, also aiming to activate interlocking tactics, did 2 wounds which weren't saved by cover. Ultramarine Destroyers and Moritat opened up on the beasts. The Rad Missile managed to take an excellent 5 wounds, Toxifere and Flamer took another 4, and then the Bolt Pistols and Volkite Serpenta chewed through a whole load more beasts, leaving 1 beast with 2 wounds remaining. Ultramarine Sikaran opened up on the side of the Spartan, managed to do a penetrating hit and blew the las cannon off the near side. Sky Slayers decided to shoot in at the tightly packed militia. The plasma cannon didn't get hot, scored a wonderful 8 hits, and then, as per the photo I'm sure is going to go up, managed to roll 6 1s on 8 dice, did kill 2 of the militia. The heavy bolters did a bit better and killed another 6, leading to a decent total of 8 dead militia. Ultramarines turn 2 assault phase. The destroyers, whose blood must be boiling at this stage, managed to declare a multi-charge against the militia and the beasts. 1 destroyer got killed on the way in, but they made their multi-charge with an 8-inch charge, and they're ready to assault. Oh, they've also offered a challenge, which the Force Commander has accepted with the Ultramarine Sergeant. At the Initiative 5 step, the Moritat steps forward, scored 3 hits, did 2 wounds thanks to the Rad Grenades reducing them to toughness 2, and they got their invul save of 6 up, and Word Bearers rolled 1 invul save, so the Moritat killed 1 militia. Next to strike at Initiative 4 were 3 of the destroyers at the Beast. They managed to score 6 hits, did 4 wounds, and he's dead. Also striking at Initiative 4, 5 more of the destroyers did 15 attacks. They managed a good spread of hits, did 10 wounds. 3 of them were saved on a 6-up invul, leaving 7 dead militia.
At Initiative 3, the Force Commander stepped into the challenge, hit with his close combat weapons, hit twice, wounded once, and unfortunately for the Destroyer Sergeant, the blade went through. At Initiative 3, the militia piled in. They had 32 attack, 22 hits thanks to the chaplain's reroll. Out of all of those hits, we got 5 regular wounds and 6 additional rands. That resulted in the Morita dying and 6 additional destroyer passing away. At Initiative 1, the chaplain went to pile in, but there was nothing in range, so the combat ends.
Ultramarines lost the combat by just 1 wound. Due to a load of different rules going on, Lorgar added 1, Gulliman added 1 to leadership. Destroyers just about passed their leadership check on a 9, so the destroyers will pile in and that combat will continue. End of Ultramarines turn 2, and I think overall a very successful turn for the Ultramarines. Managing to blow up the Spartan, the Sicaran, take a weapon off the Spartan, lock up the militia in combat, kill some militia on the other side. I think overall the tactical withdrawal has benefited us, and now to push forward in turn 3 and press the advantage.
Word Bearer turn to movement phase. The cultists push forward looking at the tactical marines. In the background, the Seeker went back into the Rhino that moved forward. The tactical moved closer to the Termite. The Plasma Squad went back into the Rhino that pushed forward 6 inches. The Spartan pulled back and unloaded Lorgar that is looking at the jet bike. The tactical moved closer to the jet bikes as well, and the Assault Marine moved closer to get close to the Spartan and the Punisher. Turn to Word Bearer shooting phase. The tactical squad threw a crack grenade at the Termite but failed to do any damage. The Rhino popped smoke, and the Chaplain decided to shoot its bow pistol at the closest tactical marine but failed to do anything. The Spartan opened fire with its remaining quad las cannon onto the Spartan but didn't do anything. However, the tactical squad shot at the jet bikes with 10 bolt pistols and managed to kill one of the jet bikes. Word Bearer turned to Psychic Phase. Lorgar harnessed 6 warp charges and was able to cast Prescience on the units and Precognition on himself. Word Bearer turned to combat. The tactical squad and Lorgar made it into the jet bikes. The cultists are still stuck with the destroyer. The Assault Marine made a multi-charge against the Punisher and the Spartan. The tactical squad made it into the Termite, and the squad of cultists managed to get into the tactical squad of Ultramarine. On the way in, the militia lost 2 cultists.
Word Bearer's militia fighting against the Ultramarines tactical squad. A challenge was issued by the chaplain, which was accepted. The sergeant managed to get a hit and a wound, but it was saved on the artificer armor. Also, Initiative Step 4, the tactical marines have attacked the militia and killed 3 militia.
At Initiative 3, the cultists attacked. They had 37 attacks, out of it 23 hits, and scored 3 rend and 1 wound, resulting in 4 Ultramarine dead. At Initiative 1, the chaplain swing with its power axe. It scored 4 hits and 3 wounds that killed 3 Marines, including the sergeant. At the end of the combat, the Ultramarine lost by 4, which they resulted in a leadership test on their side, which they unfortunately failed. They were swept away by the cultists, and the cultists consolidate 1 extra inch. Combat between the tactical and the Termite. Of course, the melter bomb failed to hit, but the rest of the squad were able to inflict 2 hull points of the Termite, leaving it on 1 hull point.
Combat between the Ultramarine destroyers and the Word Bearer militia. Ultramarine destroyers had 6 attacks. They didn't do well and managed to just do 1 kill.
Due to the weight of attack at Initiative 3, the cultists fought back the destroyer and killed them. They consolidated then 1 inch. The Assault Marine attacked the Spartan and the Punisher. 6 Melta-Bomb went on the Spartan, exploding it and resulting in 1 Suzerain dead. And 4 Assault Marine attacked the Punisher, which made him explode. Lorgar issued a challenge against the jetbike units, which was accepted by the Praetor. So on the charge, Lorgar hits with Illuminatory and has 6 attacks. 3s to hit, rerolling thanks to precog. So it is 4 hits and strength 8 versus toughness 5, right? So it is 2s to wound. And we have 4 wounds.
4 saves on his Iron Halo. He makes 3 of them, he takes 1 wound.
Well done, but he will be concussed in the next turn. At initiative 5, the Galvorbag struck the jetbikes and out of 30 attacks, killed the 4 remaining jetbikes, leaving the Praetor alone. At initiative 4, the tactical squad swung at the Praetor and unfortunately did nothing. All 3 wounds have been saved by the artificial armor of the Praetor.
At initiative 1, the Ultramarines Praetor got to swing. He did well, got 5 hits, got 4 wounds. Yet, due to the psychic powers, Lorgar could re-roll his saves and saved all of them.
So at initiative 1, the Dark Matter swung at the Praetor. However, the Praetor made its invul save. However, the Ultramarine had lost the combat and failed their leadership and were swept by the Word Bearers, who consolidated. Turn to summary. Very happy with how the Word Bearer did this turn. The close combat phase was very good and it's put us in a good position, I think.
Ultramarines turn 3 movement phase. Ultramarine Xiphon has arrived from reserve and lined up a shot on the Spartan. The remaining Sicaran has also just moved a touch to retreat back away from those nasty cultists. Guilliman and the Suzerain have spread out a firing line on the Assault Marines that so rudely blew up their Spartan. The Ultramarine Rhino with the Volkite in has reversed and the Volkite support squad have jumped out, lining up a shot on the Militia, as have the Tactical squad. They've got their eyes on them, and the Termite just reversed back a little out of the firing line of the Tactical squad. Ultramarines turn 3 shooting phase. The Rhino took a hit and killed one of the Militia to set up interlocking tactics. The Tactical squad with their bolters then fired into the Militia, managing to kill 6 more. Ultramarine Volkite Serpenta squad managed to put 15 hits, or 15 wounds, onto the cultists and the chaplain. All the wounds were failed in the end, and the chaplain went down as well. Ultramarines Rhino and Termite fired into the Tactical squad. Multi-Melter did what Multi-Melters do, managed to hit and didn't wound. The Termite got 3 hits, got 2 wounds, and they were saved. The Suzerain and Guilliman fired into the Assault squad, managed to do a decent spread of hits and wounds, but the Word Bearer armor saved it all. Ultramarine Xiphon and Sicaran fired into the Spartan with the hopes of trapping Lorgar on that side of the board. Managed to do 1 penetrating hit and take a hull point, but all they did was stun it with the las cannons from the Xiphon. Ultramarine Assault phase turn 3. The Suzerain and Guilliman have declared a charge against the Assault Marines. The Assault Marines managed a couple of hits with Overwatch, but didn't kill any Suzerain. So Guilliman's now ready to strike. A challenge has been issued by a normal Suzerain again, and it's been accepted by the Sergeant and the Word Bearers. Guilliman's going to hit with his sword, so he gets 6 attacks, hitting on 3s. He's managed 4 hits, and he is wounding on 2s. 6s are Murderous Strike. None. And Shred for the sword. He rerolls to a 1, so he's 3 5-ups.
And we have 3 5-up Film of Pain thanks to the Apothecary, and 1 is saved, so 2 Word Bearer die at the hand of Guilliman.
4 suzerain attacking into the squad. There's 12 attacks hitting on 3s. And they manage a decent spread of hits. 6s are auto wounds, so that's 2 auto wounds. And these 6 dice need 4s to wound. And that leads to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wounds on Feel No Pain.
Okay, I will use the Ultramarine dice. Haha. And we have 2 that survive, so wow, 5 Word Bearer full.
Suzerain in the challenge, swinging against the Sergeant and the Assault Marines. He's got 3 attacks. He's hitting on 3s. 6s are auto wounds, so it's 1 auto wound and 4 for the other one. It's 2 wounds on the Sergeant.
So 2, hopefully Feel No Pain, failed, so the Sergeant dies.
And he takes another Word Bearer with him.
At Initiative 4, the Apothecary struck back the Suzerain, but didn't manage to issue any wounds. Now at Initiative 4, the rest of the Assault Marine would get to fight back, including the one that fell. So there are 6 that are dead, 1 that is still in combat. So 14 attacks, which result in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hit. And 3 wounds.
And there's 2 up saves on the Artificer armor. And I've rolled 4. Well, we'll just ignore the cocked one.
That's fine.
So the Assault Marines didn't manage to do any damage back to the Suzerain. They then just about failed their leadership check on a large number of dice, and Gulliman and the Suzerain have consolidated 6 inches after sweeping them. Ultramarine turn 3 sum up. The fight back is on. We managed to wipe out 1 set of cultists and their chaplain, and start to take control of 1 side of the board. Fortunately, we're far enough away from the Galvorbak and Lorgar for them to be too much of a worry as well, and it will depend on what we can manage to do to kill some more infantry.
Turn 3 Word Bearer movement phase. The tactical squad went and tucked in to hide from the firepower of the Ultramarine. The cultists moved forward to close the gap against the Sicarian. Lorgar boarded the Spartan that then moved up 6 inches. The Rhino moved up 6 and unloaded the Seekers. However, just want to point out I had made a mistake. I forgot the Seeker were in there and had put the Plasma Squad in there. So what we've done is we put back the Plasma Squad back where they were at the beginning. So my bad, my fault. The other tactical squad move up close to the tarmac to make sure that this time it doesn't move away. And the Rhino with the second squad of Seekers moved up to the Ultramarines line. We also rolled for reserve, and the Fire Raptor is still not on the table. Word Bearer turn 3 shooting phase. The Seeker squad unleashed their combi plasma on the Suzerain and managed to down 4 of them, leaving Gulliman and the Standard Bearer alone. The Spartan opened up on Gulliman and his squad. The Quadlas cannon was able to score 2 hits, 2 wounds, but Gulliman saved it on its invulnerable. The Heavy Bolter scored 1 wound that was also saved on the regular 2+ armor of Gulliman. The support squad opened up with their plasma gun on the Termite, managed to get 3 gets hot but saved all on the armor, and was able to take the last hull point from the Termite, resulting in an explode result that killed, unfortunately, 2 Word Bearer from the tactical squad. The Rhino with its Twinling Bolter opened up on the tactical squad and managed to kill 1 of the tactical squad. Word Bearer turn 3 assault phase. The cultists are going to try a desperate charge into the Sicarian battle tank. They need A12, let's try it. No, fail, unfortunately 7. Turn 3 summary for the Word Bearers. Overall, a pretty good turn because we were able to clear some of the Suzerain. Unfortunate that the Fire Raptor didn't show up, but he will come up automatically next turn.
Ultramarine turn 4 movement phase. The Sicarian has pushed up to line up a shot on the Seekers who are now out in the open. The Xiphon has sped across the battlefield, aiming down at those plasma support squad. And on the right flank where the Ultramarines are still strong, Guilliman has retreated a little, so minimised the chance of the charge from the terrible Gal Vorbak. The Rhino has come up to support him, to give him a getaway vehicle if he needs it. The two multi-melter Rhinos have moved up, aiming their guns at the other Seeker Rhino, and the tactical squad and Volkite support squad are pressing this side to try and control the right flank. Ultramarines turn 3 shooting phase. The Sikaran and Guilliman combined their fire on the Seeker squad, but despite a large amount of rending and AP3 and better, they managed to kill just 2 of the Seekers. Ultramarine Rhino took a pot shot at the Seekers and managed to down one of them, doing better than his Primarch did. Both multi-melters from the Rhinos fired at the Word Bearers Rhino with the Seekers in it. The one missed, one scored a hit and penetrated and caused a weapon destroyed result. The Xiphon fired down at the Plasma Support Squad, sure of a kill, managed to get 4 hits, did 2 wounds with the las cannons, and the Word Bearers went to ground and managed to save one of them, did 2 hits with the Xiphon rotary launcher, and rolled a double 1 to do no wounds. Tactical squad fired their bolters across at the Word Bearer tactical squad, managing to score 7 hits, 4 wounds, and kill 2 of the Word Bearers. At the end of the shooting phase, there were 3 morale checks to be taken. The Plasma Support Squad and the Tactical Squad both passed, but despite rolling 3d6 because of the True Believer roll, the Seeker Squad failed and have retreated back towards their Rhino. Turn 4 Ultramarine summary. The fight back continues. We've managed to drive off the Seekers that were attacking Guilliman. The Xiphon was a bit of a whiff, what a shame. We've pretty much got to brace ourselves for the Fire Raptor's arrival and see if we can keep hold of this right flank of the board.
The tactical squad moved from behind the building to eye the Sicarian battle tank, so did the levy moving forward to it. The Seekers managed to rally. The Spartan moved up a full 12 inches in order to look at Robute Guilliman. Over there, the Fire Raptor finally got onto the board and arrived, and it's looking at lots of juicy infantry target. The tactical moved forward as well, and the Seeker disembarked from their Rhino, looking again at the tactical as well. Word Bearer turn 4 shooting. The tactical squad threw a crack grenade at the Sicarian battle tank, was able to hit and cause a glancing hit, however it was 25% obscure and managed a cover save. The Spartan opened up on Robute Guilliman. The quad las cannon hit twice, wounded twice, however Robute saved it on its invuln. The heavy bolter also hit the squad, however it was saved on the 2+ armor save. The Seeker squad shot with their Scorpius round, which managed a 37 hit, wounded 10 times, and killed 4 tactical marines. The Fire Raptor opened up on the Volkite squad. The Avenger bolter cannon combined with 2 missiles killed 6 Volkite, including the Sergeant. The Reaper autocannon opened up on the Rhino, managed to score 1 whole point because 2 were saved by the cover saved, and on the other Rhino it scored 2 whole points, including 1 penetrating hit that caused a shaken result. The tactical squad tried to throw a cheeky crack grenade at the Rhino, unfortunately didn't cause a whole point. The support squad decided to try to shoot at the Xiphon, unfortunately didn't do anything but kill one of their brothers in the process to get hot. And the Xiphon elected to jink, so he will be snap shooting next turn. Word Bearer turn 4 assault. The tactical squad tried to assault the Rhino but failed their charges. However, the Cultists and the other squad of tactical made it into the Sicarian battle tank. Okay, the tactical are gonna throw their crack grenade at the Sicarian, so they hit on 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, and now they need 6s to do anything. Nothing. The cultists then attacked the Sicarian battle tank, had 53 attacks, of which resulted in 38 hit. Out of those 38, only 4 rends, and that transformed into only 1 glancing hit. So now we're going to do the chaplain, that is initiative 1 with his melta bomb. So he needs a 3. He rerolls thanks to his roll, which hits, and now on 2 dice, it is strength 9 against a rear armor of, strength 8, sorry, against rear armor of 12. So I need 4s. It's a penetrating hit. So what does it do? 1 plus 2, 3, which is shaken, I believe. End of turn. Pretty happy with the turn of the Word Bearers. The Fire Raptor is on the table now, which is great, and rained a lot of death against the infantry of the Ultramarine. A bit of a shame that despite the weight of attack, we were not able to take the battle tank, but yeah, next turn.
Ultramarines turn 5 movement phase. The Xiphon has flown off the board, ready to come on for a final turn strafing run. The Tacticals and the support squad and Rhinos have moved up on the Seekers, trying to shore up the right hand side. Gulliman, ever the pragmatist, has jumped into the Rhino and rolled back. No point giving up price of failure if he doesn't have to. And the Sicarian, after much debate between the driver and the gunners about trying to run over some cultists, decided they're just going to sit there and shoot at some Seekers instead. Ultramarines turn 5 shooting phase. Turns out the argument was moot, and even though they shot everything at the Seekers and managed to hit a few times, the Seekers' armour held strong. Ultramarines Rhino, now under Gulliman's command, fired 1 long shot at the Word Bearers' Seekers, managed to get a hit but didn't wound, but has activated interlocking tactics for the rest of the units. Ultramarines Legion support squad fired their Volkite chargers up at the Seekers and had a successful round of shooting, managing to kill 2 on the first round and then another 1 to deflagrate. A cheeky snapshot and multi-melter aimed up at the Fire Raptor and really didn't hit. The other Rhino fired its multi-melter at the squad. Multi-melter again missed. Combi bolter hit, took a wound, but it was saved on the armour. Ultramarine Tactical Squad fired their bolt pistols into the Seekers. Managed just 2 hits and a wound, but it was saved on the Artificer armour. Ultramarine turn 5 assault phase. Overwatch from the Seekers was ineffective as they were charged by the Tactical Squad, and a successful charge was made. Ultramarines did 11 attacks, only managed to stick 2 wounds, which the Word Bearers attempted to take on the Sergeant, who was felled by a combat blade through the eye.
The Word Bearers struck back with 3 attacks, managed to do 1 wound, and killed 1 of the Tacticals. So it's a draw combat.
Ultramarine ended the turn 5 assault phase. The Tactical Marines did get to swing still, even though it wasn't their turn, and they managed to take the 1 glancing hit to destroy the Sicarian. As a turn review, it's kind of as expected. We've tried to shore up that far side. The Fire Raptor's only going to be mildly effective in the last turn, and a lot of the Word Bearers are out of the remainder of the game, effectively.
Word Bearer turn 5 movement phase. The cultists are left leaving the wreck of the Sicarian battle tank behind. The Seeker moved inside the Rhino to have cover. The Spartan moved forward and unloaded Lorgar and his squad that are looking at the Rhino of Gulliman that we hope to crack open with the Fire Raptor beforehand. On the backfield, the 2 plasma support squad moved inside the Rhino, and the tactical squad moved forward through cover, a wonderful 6, and are now looking at either the Rhino or the support squad. Turn 5 psychic phase. Lorgar was able to cast 4 boding and 4 warning on the unit. Word Bearer turn 5 shooting. The Fire Raptor opened the hostility with shooting against the Guilliman's Rhino. Opened up first with its 2 Hellstrike missiles and was able to score 2 hits, 2 penetrating hits, resulting in the Rhino being repped and Guilliman exiting. The Reaper autocannon shot at the far side Rhino, but unfortunately didn't manage to do anything. So the intention of the tactical squad was to multi-charge the Rhino and the Volkite support squad. However, I decided to shoot a crack grenade into the Rhino, which resulted in wrecking it, which now means that unfortunately I cannot charge the Volkite. So that's definitely going to sting next turn. Definitely an error on my part. Word Bearer turn 5 assault phase. Unfortunately, because Guilliman exited on the back of his Rhino, now the charge distance is over 12 inches, so they cannot get into combat. The last remaining combat is this one Seeker against the Tactical, so let's get to it.
The ongoing combat between the Ultramarines and the Seeker squad resulted in 1 dead Seeker and glory for the tactical squad of the Ultramarines. They then consolidated 6 inches to round on the last remaining tactical Marines.
So overall, end of the turn, I'm a bit disappointed that I couldn't make it into Guilliman. And I think I might have given a few victory points on the infantry side this one. So yeah, mixed feeling about that one.
Ultramarine turn 6 movement phase. The Xiphon has swooped back on from its far side, lining up a shot at the tactical squad or the Rhino. There's points on offer for either. The tactical squad have stayed where they are on the ridge, looking down at them, and the Volkite support squad have rounded on them with their fearsome Volkite chargers. The Rhino has stayed still, lining up a shot at the opposition Rhino, and Guilliman has definitely not run away. He has tactically withdrawn from his exploded Rhino and is moving towards the edge of the board. Turn 6, final turn shooting phase for the Ultramarines. The Rhino took the first shot and vaporized one of the Word Bearers with his multi-melter. That set up interlocking tactics, and the Volkite chargers rolled into the Word Bearer tactical squad and killed 3 more. After much debate amongst the Xiphon pilot, he decided to shoot at the Fire Raptor. He forced the Jink, hit it twice with its las cannons, and the Jink saved it. On the ground beneath him, Guilliman, still definitely not running away, has tactically retreated a little bit further with a run move, we'll call it, but not running away move. And the Legion tactical squad went to ground from the fire from the Rhino earlier, so they are currently ducking and covering too. Ultramarines turn 6, their final assault phase. The tactical squad declared a charge onto the Word Bearer tactical squad and failed. The Volkite support squad made a charge and made it comfortably with 9 inches. So now they're ready to start hitting him with their Volkite charges. And we resolved the assault. The Ultramarines managed to do a few hits, did 3 wounds, and the Word Bearers failed just 1 wound, leaving the last tactical Marine dead. He did take a hit and a wound, but the power armor of the Ultramarines saved them. Ultramarines turn 6 and final sum up. We've done all we can to fight back from the brutal second turn of the Word Bearers. We've kept a hold of a lot of this left flank. Lorgar is out of range of a charge. We've forced the Fire Raptor to Jink, and now we've just got to hold on and see how the points turn out.
Word Bearer turn 6 and final turn, movement phase. The Rhino with the Seeker moved back and unloaded the Seekers that are looking at the infantry over there. The Plasma squad that was in the other Rhino also disembarked. The Fire Raptor actually went into hover mode and schemed to have a good line of fire on the infantry, hoping to take some. The Spartan pivoted and went down the alleyway, hoping to take a few shots, and Lorgar stands still on top of his little mount and is shouting at his brother to come back and face him. Word Bearer turn 6 shooting phase. The Fire Raptor used Power of the Machine Spirit to shoot at full ballistic skill its Avenger Bolter Cannon because it jinked the previous time and was able to wipe the Volcat support squad. Great result. The rest of the shooting for the Fire Raptor was a little bit unsuccessful. Did no damage to the tactical squad with one of the turrets, but the other turret managed to score 2 hits despite snap shooting at the Xiphon. However, we didn't manage to do anything because it jinked successfully. The Seeker squad opened up with a special ammo munition, the Tempest ammos, and was able to kill one of the tactical with it. Tactical support squad from the Word Bearer opened up with their plasma gun on the remaining Ultramarine tactical squad. They managed to score 3 hits. Unfortunately, to get hot, they kill their own sergeant. However, at the end, managed to pass their leadership test. However, their hits managed to kill 2 of the tactical, and the last one, unfortunately for the Ultramarine, failed its leadership test. So that is it. It's running and counting its story for the end of the game. So we are done here, and we're going to tally up the victory points. Let's see what we got.
What a thrilling game that was. Ultramarines, Word Bearers, a classic matchup, but I had my heart in my mouth the whole time. I really, really enjoyed that, gents. It was awesome. Not only was it a really good looking game, there was a lot going on, eh?
Yeah, lots of infantry going around, lots of zooming vehicles. It's lots going on.
Yeah, a lot of shots ringing out from the Ultramarines into the Word Bearers.
It's a game that sort of swang, on turn 2. I think it was, but we fought back. We tried to cling on.
Yeah.
We won't spoil the result.
No. We'll do the results very quickly. The Ultramarines did a fantastic job of really getting rid of the Word Bearers units. So for death toll, you scored 6 units, of which 3 of those contributed towards Blood Feud, which gave the Ultramarines a total of 9 victory points. So a really great score. Now, I'm laughing because it's quite a big jump. The Word Bearers got a death toll of 14. Unbelievable, of which 5 contributed towards Blood Feud, and you also got Last Man Standing, which took the Word Bearers to 20. So final score, 9 Ultramarines, 20 to the Word Bearers. That's a bit of a monstrous score, Thomas.
I think also, to be fair, I was very lucky in my dice roll. I just want to put it out there. Lots of 6s when I needed them, especially for some of the saves. But yeah, it worked out. I think, personally, I do like the idea of having all the militia and the tin inflation because it's very thematic. It really fits in if you read the books, and it's really cool. But if you include the chaplains, those 2 guys, which I brought back, they're a bit broken. I really think so. So I think it's the last time I'll bring them with chaplain, just to see how they fare on their own.
I think when you combine the sort of provenances and the chaplains, and to give them a good saving throw, a bit of feel no pain, rending, and fearless, and hatred, they become a really monstrous thing that doesn't count for anything, even if you kill them.
Yeah, and unfortunately, in this game, you didn't have any blast template. Because, well, you had one, but I think you might have overheated at some point. So, they're tough nut. Let's put it this way.
We talked about this, didn't we, about list tailoring. You said, maybe the Termite could have had a 10-man Flamer squad in, but then you're tailoring a list to something where you should perhaps bring an all-comers list. So I think your list is really, really well made, but against certain armies, particularly the militia, it struggles. You need to get rid of 80 infantry in a game of 6 turns.
And ordinarily, I think you'd possibly ignore a unit like that.
Sure.
But they're too big, too dangerous to ignore. So you've got to do something about them, and that's a huge amount of shots, even if you fail saves and feel no pain.
I gotta say, the Volkite, we saw how effective they are just against Marine.
Yeah.
If they had the opportunity to shoot to any of the units of cultists, you probably would have wiped 2/3 out of it with the deflagrate and all those kind of stuff. I think it's a shame that they didn't start shooting until really turn 3, right?
Turn 3 before they came out.
Yeah. It was a bit tricky, I think. I think it's really difficult to get rid of 80 toughness 3 humans with all the rules that are associated with the bolstering from the word bearers. It's very, very difficult if you've got, you know, like a Legion, Basilisk, or the other one, I can't remember the name of it.
Vindicator.
Medusa. Vindicator, Medusa. You know, then they will help, but you know, it all goes down to tailoring. But it's a very difficult list to shift, I think, personally. I think the Fire Raptor coming on really late certainly helped the Ultramarines game. You know, you were really unlucky with your reserves.
Yeah, it was you know, you're lucky some places, you're lucky in other places. So overall, I won't complain. But yeah, it would have been nice to come up earlier. But yeah, you cannot dictate that.
But when it come on, we saw how effective again the Fire Raptor is. You know, that ability to pick off 3 different units. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's very good, especially for the points, and I think that's why you see it in almost all of the games.
That's why you get a rarity of Xiphons, because they're about the same points.
Yeah, and the Xiphon actually is really good against fire. I was actually sweating bullets when you started shooting, because I didn't realize that on top of that, it has like a 3-up jinx against the flyer. It has the twin link for most of its shooting, and also the missiles, the one that you have to reroll the jinx saves, and they do the same thing as a Arcus, which is the D3 for the penetration. You know, if you hit with that, you wreck it.
Must you say it's good? It didn't shoot you.
Yeah. No, it's true. No, I get it. Point was, there's no one that compares.
It's definitely an escort craft rather than like a gunship like the Lightning, for example, or the Raptor. But it is a really, really cool looking plane. We did see 2 powerbucks on the board. I was pleased in a way that we didn't see them fight, because it just would have just ended up chopping. You know, it would have gone on for ages. But I'm not sure the suzerain and Gilman would have dealt with all of those Galval back and everything else. I'm not sure, because you pulled them off on the right hand flank, didn't you, quite early on? And Paul and I looked at each other and went, "Well, that's all right," because we're not going to have to deal with it. But a bit of a tricky one, that one, I think.
Yeah. You know, I originally wanted the cultists to go and take care of the jetbikes, but you tied me in with the destroyers, so I couldn't. So therefore, I knew I needed to do something about it, because they're worth, you know, I think 2 points for just the mission in general. Plus, you had a Praetor in it, and the weight of fire that comes out of it is, I think, very dangerous. So I knew I had to take care of it. Was my one opportunity. I kind of wanted to come back after to see Robute, and I did my best to come and give him a hug, but didn't happen this time.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. My hope when I looked at the list was to sort of pop the Spartan out in the open, be able to whittle down the Galval back a bit, but 9 Galval back with Lorgar, with his psychic powers. It's just, you know, I don't think there's many units in the game can deal with that, especially once he's layered up some psychic powers as well. Yeah,
you really need to get that Spartan, and you need a couple of turns to peel out the Galval back before you get into Lorgar. I've played Word Bearers quite a lot, and the Thalax and the Cryos just strip out the Galval back quite quickly. In a couple of turns maybe, but you have to take that Spartan first, and then you stand a chance. But when they're rolling across the battlefield to you really fast, and you've got 80 militia to deal with, I think it's a really, really tough prospect to face.
And I agree. You know, Lorgar has, if you read the forum, has a bad reputation of being a poor Primarch, but I strongly disagree, because with Transfigured Lorgar, of course, the other one is, why take it on the table? But it can pick its powers, and also there's a special rule that people forget, which is Master of the Dark Faith, which he can pick on any turn to force his opponent to reroll 5 and 6s against him for hit and wound roll, which we didn't get to play. But he's a beast.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good. It's just not very loved.
He's got a checkered past, I think, hasn't he? I thought that was a thrilling game. I loved every minute. It was probably one of the best looking games we've had on for a little while. So I just think the board really helped bring out the colours of the 2 armies, and just the sheer amount of infantry we had on the board. It was awesome seeing the ranks of the Ultramarines and kind of the rabble of the Word Bearers. It was fantastic.
Yeah, the board was absolutely stunning. So thank you very much. It's really, really just bring everything to life. You had, I don't know if you see on the video, but you could see that he created some hills, and just like it made line of shooting difficult. It just fantastic. It's really taking it to the next level. Things that Matt doesn't bring up. So
Good. Well, thank you. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. But that's what the channel's all about. Well-painted armies, good boards, and great guys to play the game. So I think we definitely achieved that with this game. So thank you so much. I have taken a ton of photos from this game. So when the game is released, please go to the Facebook page and have a look at those photos. If you have any direct questions for these gents about their armies, how they played, or any general questions in general, where can we find you?
You can find me at _unspeaking on Instagram.
Fantastic.
And I'm on Instagram at Paul Miniatures.
Great stuff. And have you got anything on the bench that you're working on at the moment, Paul? You got anything painting? Or
I've got about 5 work in progress: a Titanicus Legion, a Mastodon. I've got land speeders to paint.
Cool.
I just need to knuckle down and do something.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've got a ton on my bench I need to get going. What about you?
On my side, I have a pile of resin, but I got twins as well. So it's been 8 months since they were born, and it's been 8 months I haven't done anything.
You've had your hands full, eh?
Yeah. So, hopefully something, but I don't foresee it.
You're not sure.
Should use that prescience.
Yeah, that's like, what am I doing next? What am I doing next? We would love to see these guys back, and I have no doubt that we will. They're reasonably close as well, being in London. It's only a couple of hours or an hour and a half up the motorway to come and see us on the channel. So hopefully we'll tempt them back for a third game. That'll be quite exciting. It's a long day. I think we started what time did you leave London this morning?
I left at 8.
Yeah, and I think we're about...
Yeah, I left the house about 7:30.
Oh, okay. So we're about 7:30, 8 o'clock now on a Sunday night to bring this game to you guys. So I really, really hope you enjoy it. It was absolutely amazing. All left to say is thanks again. One final thing I always forget. There's a club to talk about.
So we met through the London Wargaming Guild.
Yes.
Great club. Lots of good heresy players there. So if you're in the London area, we meet 3 times a week, really, in either Covent Garden or Badminton Cafe down in Borough. Yeah, really great club, great group of guys, and lots of good heresy going on there.
Yeah, we've had quite a few guys from the club on the channel as well. There was Josh and Colin and a few others to mention as well, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, thanks again, and we will see you in the next game.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Pleasure.